You all must have heard about the granny horror game. Nowadays, gaming addiction is increasing among many people, and one of them was Rahim, who sent us this story. Rahim, a 14-year-old boy, used to play the granny game all day long and never listened to anyone. His parents were very worried about him because he had completely lost interest in his studies. His addiction was growing day by day. One night, while Rahim was playing the granny game, his phone suddenly turned off. He tried to turn it back on, but nothing happened. Thinking that the battery might have died, he got up to take the charger from his cupboard. As he was about to grab it, he felt like someone was approaching his room. When he opened the door to check, there was no one in sight. He took out his charger and plugged in his phone, but it still wouldn't turn on. As he was trying to fix it, the door of his room suddenly swung open and then slowly closed by itself. Rahim, now feeling uneasy, stared at the door. That's when he noticed something in the mirror near the door, a shadowy figure. Due to the dim light, he couldn't see it clearly. But as he moved closer to the mirror, his heart nearly stopped. In the reflection, he saw an old woman with completely white eyes, blood dripping slightly from her mouth, and a terrifying grin on her face. Rahim stood frozen, unable to take his eyes off her. Then he saw her trying to emerge from the mirror. She extended her hand toward him, and at that moment, Rahim felt an intense pain in his chest. Panicked, he ran and jumped into his bed, pulling the blanket over himself. For a moment, everything seemed silent. He slowly lowered the blanket from his face, only to find the old woman floating in the air right in front of him. She grabbed his throat and began to press hard with her long, sharp nails. Rahim couldn't even scream. He flailed his arms and legs, struggling to break free. Gathering all his courage, he finally let out a loud scream. Hearing his cries, his parents rushed into the room and found him screaming in his sleep. His mother quickly woke him up and assured him that it was just a nightmare. But then, she suddenly stopped talking. Her eyes widened in shock when she noticed deep scratch marks on Rahim's neck, marks that looked like they had been made by sharp claws. From that day on, Rahim never played the granny game again. So what do you think? Was it really just a dream? But then, where did those marks on his neck come from? Have you ever had nightmares after playing horror games? Let me know in the comments.